looking at that, and you know, it's what we're trying to do, trying to push forward. We're hoping that we can get some PS4 F1 drivers, because everyone knows that every man and his dog is in a PS4 S1 team. There is literally, you cannot grab one person out of at least top 2 or 3 tiers in every league that doesn't have a driver. Every main league that doesn't have a team name. It's very hard, but with things that we offer compared to many teams, I think that once people in that community understand, they'll think, you know, that this team is something that's quite different to the rest.
No, all sounds really good, to be honest. And just to come in, we have started qualifying now. We're about halfway through the lap here with Tice on the run up towards turn 8, and Tice a really good fundamental part, as you've just said there, Keelan, with the Sidemax team, as he's now running up towards turn 9 on his lap, and we see him now coming through. Superboy, by the way, has left the session. Looks like he's had a bit of a disconnect, so hopefully he will be able to rejoin. But Tice rounding the final corner now. I think this is around the 138, 139 mark, to be honest, from Tice. Across the line he comes, 139.4. I'll take that prediction straight off the bat. Splash goes 400s behind him. Viper across the line had a penalty, so 1.5 seconds off. Volschweitzer as well across the line, 2.9 seconds. Marcello's gone up to 4th, now better there by Hayres, I think, and he's up into 4th. How's Palmer getting on his lap? Let's ride on board with him as he comes around the final couple of corners. SDM Reds going there with a 141.2. Splash, by the way, now on the SDM team. Palmer around in the final corner. Can he make up for last week's disaster of his throttle pedals disconnecting? It's not a great lap time, to be honest, from Palmer. 140.1. Yera comes in there though on the Audi and goes a 10th.5 off Tice, and T5 Black goes 1400ths off, but it's Tice currently out on top. T5 Black second, and Splash in third as we approach the halfway stage in qualifying. And 2 SMM drivers, I believe, within the front 4, which is not too bad at all.
No, it's very good. It's great to see. And also forgot to comment, Marcello, insane. He even said it in the party before that, you know, he was quite far off the pace, or to himself he was quite far off the pace in the Speed Demon Motorsports versus Sidemax team battle, but he has been really practicing, really pushing GT Sport, and he's finally got to a place where, you know, he's very happy with, and I think he can get even quicker, especially with him racing in FIA. Each week he gets more points from his driver rating going up, and I'm hoping that he'll be able to try and push for some of the top end splits. Same with new driver Shadow. He's very quick, and he still uses auto gears, so he can get even quicker.
Yeah, because I think he was due to debut last week, if I'm not mistaken, and he was due to be here this week, and he couldn't make it, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we'll see Shadow on this channel, certainly within the next couple of weeks or so. But from your point of view, he's one of the top Slovenian drivers, I think, out there, which is fantastic.
No, that is Luka Zavasic is the top Slovenian drivers. Shadow is Dutch, and he is one of the top Dutch drivers in the FIA Nations Cup, and is one of the top drivers for his chosen manufacturer in the Manufacturers Cup. So, all in all, very smart eye from Tice to see Shadow, and he still races on pad, even though he does have a wheel. I'm very surprised that he doesn't use it, but in all fairness, it is, if you haven't used a wheel before, quite hard to transition from pad to wheel.
Oh, Hair Razor just having a massive moment coming out of turn 7. Sorry to cut in there, Keelan, but Marcello as well on a really good lap here, 1.3 seconds off Black, who went quicker, but Hair Razor just losing control of the car. You would assume that this is more like a race, to be honest, between these guys. KK Dot's in behind, and Bo for Shadara also in behind, out on track. Marcello, though, coming around the final couple of corners. Oh, and KK Dot's rear-ended him. Into the back he goes, and into the pit wall. What on earth was that about? Was Marcello aiming to go into the pit lane And K&K Dot has just literally backed up into him. He gets an improvement on that lap time, K&K Dot, but that's going to be a major talking point. It just seemed to me as if K&K Dot was so much quicker through turn 9 and just rear-ended the back of Marcello. Really strange crash. Black on top from Tyson second, Splash in third, Yera in fourth. Yera does improve as well. Of course, he's part for the Side Max team 2 minutes ago, roughly in qualifying, 39.5 from Yera there. Buffer Shadara there in the McLaren as well. He's up into fifth. Apologies, he's in the Audi. He was in the McLaren, of course, earlier on within the season. Still getting on top with these car changes. Hopefully Superboy can join back. He did disconnect. If not, there's a space, of course, for my co-commentator, certainly from within qualifying, Keelan, to join me, but I know he's got other plans, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I am going after qualifying. I'll let you do all the talking.
But it is,
but yeah. Do you have any questions about the mighty Side Max?
Do I have any questions?
Yeah, do you have any questions? Anything that you'd like to know, hear anymore? Do you know what? I forgot the almighty Side Max SMM_advertiser. If you go to the Side Max Twitter, which is at Side Max M with a capital M at the end, you can follow it to keep up to date with the team. Same with Instagram. Side Max Motorworks, it usually is the first one that pops up. And also on both is Discord links that you can use to keep up to date a far lot better in the Discord. You don't have to be in sort of any affiliation with the team. You know, we have lots of car enthusiasts or people who just generally want tips and help to get quicker at the game. We do have quite a few varying chats. We do have just general game chats, but we also have conversation streets where we discuss about cars, our own cars, and bullying John about his modded Fabia. But it's all part of the fun. There's no mean comments or anything towards each other. It's only in terms of banter. No one's ever got upset and left, unless it's 93, otherwise known as Michael, when someone says that he loves Coach Dave. Big man Dave Perel. But it's all part of the fun. He joins back. It's all right.
I think the only question that I've got from my point of view is more on the PS4 F1 side, because I know Matthias has been doing a great job in League of Europe. Are there any plans moving forward for PS4 F1? Is there going to be more involvement within leagues? I'm just going to commentate with Splash's lap as well. Round the final corner he comes. Can he go quicker than Black across the line? Splash across the line. Doesn't improve. 3/10 off. Tice is on a good lap here as well. But yeah, is there any plans for the PS4 F1?
We are basically just going to, as PSGL announced that they're moving to PC and that they've changed the name to Premier Sim Gaming League, we are going to use the drivers who have signed up.
Tice!
I'll just let you.
39 flat takes it to Black. Great lap there. Black doesn't improve. Both for Shadara has gone into second. How's Black getting on his lap? Across the line he comes. Doesn't improve. It's Tice on top, I think. Yera has finished. K&K Dot has finished. So has Palmer. Doug has finished. Hair Razor. Marcello is improving. Around the final corner he comes, or final two corners he comes. Across the line I think is Red as well. But Marcello rounding the final corner. I don't think he's going to find time on Tice. Across the line he comes. Jumps up to fourth. Good lap time there by Marcello. But Tice on top, both for Shadara in second. And T5 Black in third.
Insane. Well done, Tice. Quality job. Well done. Big up the Dutch. But yeah, just quickly, before I go, we're going to use the PCF1 on PSGL in order to get our name out, so people understand and know the team, that they do race in top PSGL leagues, and then hopefully from there we can go through to PS4. But good luck everyone, and good luck James.
Cheers. Here we go then, Tice about to get us underway. Bullfish Adara, it's lights and away we go. Bullfish Adara gets a really good start and has already jumped Tice from the front. So the Audi leads, running up in towards turn 1. The Brit has got the Dutchman as we go in towards turn 1. No restart, I don't think, for a disconnect, as there's all sorts of carnage in the background. I think Reds has been spun, so is Doug. Doug is round, Tap is round as well. But Bullfish Adara leads up the hill for the first time with Tice in second. T5 Black in third. Marcello is in fourth, and he's trying to go on the inside now of Black. Up the hill they come, splash down the inside. Can he get the car stopped? No, he can't. He has to go right across on Marcello and Yera. Try to get the car stopped, pretty much cut the corner. And now the Sidemax boys swarm around him, and Marcello's up to fourth, Palmer fifth, Yera in sixth. But Bullfish Adara with an absolute electric start. The first phase of his start was what got the key, and he now takes the lead of the race as we come through turn 4 for the first time. It's Tyson second, T5 Black in third, then Marcello, Palmer in fifth, Yara sixth, Splash in seventh, KK Dot in eighth, Harris in ninth, Bullschweitzer in 10th, Reds was in 11th, Viper was the one that got cut up, I should say. Doug and Tap also got caught up in incidents early on, as we see Marcello right on the back of Black. The Mercedes just struggling to get any sort of traction. I'm just going to nip out of spectate mode for just 1 second, and now we come on with KK Dot trying to fight on the back of Splash. Goodness me, all out of shape as they come through. KK Dot on the back of Splash as we run up the hill. Marcello nearly going into the back there of Black as well, but Bullfish Adara, great start, has the lead by 4.5 tenths as we come across the line, but Tice is right there. Tice coming across the line in second. Then it's Black in third, Marcello in fourth, Palmer fifth, Splash in sixth, KK Dot seventh, Harris in eighth, Yera in ninth with a 5/10 penalty, with Reds in 10th now with a 5/10 penalty. Volschweitzer's back down to 11th, so Reds has got through and he's up to 10th. Viper, Doug, Tap in the top 14 as we run up the hill on board with Tice as he closes in on the back of Bullfish Adara, the Brit, against the Dutchman. Running up the hill, they've already got a substantial gap of a 1.2 second lead as Marcello tried to look there to the inside of Black. Cut across there, Black to defend the position, and now on board with the Italian for fourth. Bullfish Adara leads, Tice second, T5 Black in third. Looking further down the field, any sort of fighting further down. Volschweitzer looking quite close to the back of SDM Reds, and the Lexus against the BMW, the two four-wheel drive cars essentially out on track, the big boys essentially. The American and the Swiss, they drive the BMW and the Lexus of course, and they're two really big cars to try and get round a track like this. Viper slides coming through there, but Bullfish Adara leading the way, and this could be an absolutely phenomenal victory from Bullfish Adara. If he keeps up this consistency from the first 2 laps, he could be the one to beat here tonight. But Tice, Black and Marcello are hunting him down all the way as we come to the start of lap 3 here at the Red Bull Ring. It's Bullfish Adara who leads. We're right on board with Tice then, coming around the final 2 corners at turns 9 and 10. And then in behind, Palmer under pressure from Splash further down the field. Splash getting all out of shape. KK Dot in 7th. KK Dot might get investigated maybe with that collision with Marcello, of course, in qualifying. We'll have a look at that, of course, after the race. Now coming across the line, Black sets the fastest lap of the race, 39.4. And that was Tice trying to look at Bullfish Adara down in towards turn 1. You just saw that at the top of your screens as KK Dot fights the Porsche coming out of turn 1. Bullfish Adara, though, has got enough of an advantage to maintain that up in towards turn 3. Has, though, Palmer on Splash, as now Splash closes in on Palmer, trying to go to the inside line. And now KK Dot, pretty much nearly rams into the back there of Palmer. Very close for a bit of contact, but now here comes KK Dot. Look at the superior traction coming around the outside line. Now running down the hill side by side. Porsche against Mercedes. You would favour the Porsche, I think, with the traction zone on the exit of turn 4. But KK Dot on the outside line splashes much later on the brakes. He could go careering into Palmer if he's not careful. Both of them safely round. Splash gets a kick of oversteer. KK Dot, though, gets a kick of oversteer on the outside, and they're still side by side as they come up towards turn 6. KK Dot's there on the inside line, Splash on the outside line. Really difficult to see who's going to come out on top between these two. They're still side by side. The Brit against the Spaniard, and the Spaniard on the inside line might take the position. Splash is still all the way around the outside though, but KK Dot I think now has that position. Great stuff. The traction zone through turn 7 on the exit of that corner works, and KK Dot's through and he's up into 6th position. Really good fighting there between them both. Probably one of the best battles I've seen all season, to be honest, in terms of one-to-one race Racecraft. Hair Racers on the back, and now Yera joining onto the back of this as well. Yera, of course, with that dramatic start, but Bofa Shadara leading the way by 0.3 of a second as we come across the line for the first time. Just being informed, yes, Splash is Lithuanian. I'm saying he's British, though, because of his flag on here. That's the confusion there. But he is Lithuanian, so I will call him Lithuanian as we go through. Here comes Tice, though, on the back of Bofa Shadara, running up the hill. Bofa Shadara from Tice. Here comes Tice, though, trying to look to the inside line up the hill in towards turn 3. Black getting very tight to the back there of Tice as well. But the Brit leads the Dutchman. From the Swede in third, the two-time SRS GT3 Series champion Black right on the back of Tice. Marcello fourth, Palmer in fifth. So Palmer's actually got through, I believe. No, he hasn't. He got through on Kenke Dot further down, didn't he? Kenke Dot, yes, Splash has actually lost a position, hasn't he, to Hair Razor? That's what it is. Hair Razor's now through and he's up into 7th. Splash into the back of Hair Razor, and now that's going to bring Yera into play. Hair Razor forced off. That might mean Splash has got to wait up for Hair Razor, but Splash continues on. Lithuanian in 7th. Yera in 8th, and now Hair Razor in 9th after that little bit of contact. For the lead of the race, though, Bofa Shadara, 7/10 out in front. The two Mercedes, though, Tice and Black, really finding off intentions. Black getting wide, coming out of turn 8. And now picks up a 5/10 penalty for his pains. The Swede looking to the inside line. We're nearly 7 minutes through. It's Bofa Shadara who leads. Tyson second. Black in third. Marcello fourth. And Palmer in 5th. That's your top 5. Currently, Tice gets a bit of a moment. Coming out the final corner, we ride bumper cam with Black running down the straight. Is he going to look to try and get this move done? You see all the difference in the gears there. And Black, oh, tries to force it down the inside line. In fact, if Tice had a bit of a half commitment, just a little bit of unsurety, I think, about that move from Black. And now that brings Marcello possibly into play. And Black uses up the penalty zone to great effect. Used up his penalty. 5/10 penalty, of course, has to be served up. Marcello is in 3rd now. Black down to 4th. Palmer 5th. Just struggling slightly to keep up with them early on. I don't doubt Palmer is going to be quicker towards the end of the race. I think he will be for sure. Kenke Dot 6th. Splash now 7th, of course, after the contact with Hair Razor. Yera there in 8th. There's Hair Razor in 9th. Viper in 10th, responding well. Red's now down to 11th. Doug 12th, Tap in 13th. Volschweitzer in 14th. So clearly either spins or some pit stops have been made. And I think it's probably spins more than anything else. Bofa Shadara, though, now in the prime spot by a second the gap. This will be DRS range, I think, in Formula 1, but it's not. It is GT3 racing around here, of course, at the Red Bull Ring. You are tuning in to round 8 of the championship. We had Keelan alongside me, of course, in the commentary box, like the olden days of TFRL, back between me and him. And Black right on the back of Marcello. Really good and interesting to see the future, really, of Sidemax going forward. And speaking about all the different platforms that they're going on, especially PSGL, of course, turning to being in on F1 PC, and that's where they're focusing on in terms of the F1 sessions. Black, though, on the back of Marcello. There's for 3rd and 4th. It's Bofa Shadara who still leads the way. Wasn't expecting Bofa Shadara to be anywhere near the front, to be honest. Everyone was worried about him, but they needn't have worried in practice because he was quite a way off the pace. And he now leads out on track, and he's got about a 7/10 lead running up the hill. Let's be right on board with Black, looking to Marcello. Is he going to dive it down the inside? You bet he will. The Swede trying to get through. TSR against SMM. And Black trying to go on the inside line, but Marcello hangs on. But now with the slipstream down the straight, Marcello might take the defensive line down in towards turn 4. Black, though, on the back, and Black is coming from an absolute mile back, trying to channel his inner Daniel Ricciardo. But Marcello 3rd, Black in 4th still. Out on track. Kenke Dot's responding well to Palmer as well. 0.8 of a second off, he's catching. And Kenke Dot probably not one to look at, to be honest, in terms of the race victory. He could be one of the ones to watch out on track in that Porsche. Yera as well in this Audi. Right on the back of SDM. Splash, the Lithuanian, under pressure from the Spaniard. Jerez 9th, Viper in 10th position, out on track, and now Black getting a little bit wide there, coming out of turn 8 once again. And you can see how the rears are really taking a pounding, of course, around this track. It's going to be the rears where, especially if you lose the car going on the rear end, the rears are going to be shot towards the end of this race. 10 minutes already through. Bo Fishadava does lead. From Tyson second, Marcello third, Black in fourth. Just looking at the mini-map on the top right screen, there was a major mistake from, I think, that must have been Hair Racer getting Larry coming out the final corner. Just saw that on the mini-map. And again, Marcello a little bit Larry out of turn 1, sorry. And now up the hill through turns 2, the kink at turn 2, and then up the hill and towards turn 3. Now Black's got a serious opportunity here on the back of the Italian. Has to be forced all the way around the outside line, but can Marcello hang off the attention of Black? Black with the better traction. Now, is he going to sail on by? In the second phase of the turn 3, on the exit of turn 3, I think it's Black that's got the position. He's 400s, 500s now ahead, down in towards turn 4. And Black, I think, has got this one done. TSR T5 Black, the two-time SRS GT3 Series champion, making a great move there, Marcello, but Marcello's coming back. Marcello tries to fight back, now on the inner line. Coming through turn 5 there, now through turn 6. Black's now on the inside line. And Marcello's going to have to be forced and squeezed all the way towards the gravel as they come off camber. And Black just about hangs on. He's got enough to take control of the position. And Black is back through and he's up into third position. Really good stuff between Black and Marcello. And Marcello, though, will not give up without a fight. We heard from Keelan how much he's improved, and he really has improved, I think, in terms of his driving. We saw in the SMM versus SDM event how he was going for moves that really wasn't there. He's just attributed himself so well to these GT3 cars this season, and he is in the top bracket of the drivers out on track. Palmer, as well, was in the top bracket of these drivers, but I think in this race, certainly in the wet conditions, Palmer's just struggling slightly, and now he's got a rampaging Gulf Porsche right on the back of him. Oh, that's a slide and a half from KK Dot coming through turn 1, and he's actually gained time out of that, as now Marcello's coming back at Black, running up the hill and towards turn 3, and now Marcello switches to the inside line. Black on the outside line. Can he get the car stopped? Just about, Marcello. He forces them off track. Black has to take avoiding action. Marcello is through, and he's into third position. To be honest, the gap was there. It's just off camber of the corner. Black got caught out, and Marcello ran him all the way to the curb. Great move that by Marcello, I think. And he's through, and he's up into third position out on track. That was needed, and that is how to outmaster a two-time GT3 Series champion. Palmer in 5th, Kenke Dot there in 6th, Yera now is up into 7th, Viper 8th, Heavers in 9th, Splash in 10th. Splash, I think, has made a mistake out on track. Of course, he made contact with Hair Razor. I wonder if there's been a bit of communication saying that Splash has got to let Hair Razor back through, maybe. Or there's been a spin from a man on track. It's only happened in the last lap or so, if it has. And so unfortunate for Splash, because he rolls running in 7th. Now Yera's in 7th, Viper 8th, Hair in 9th, Splash in 10th, Doug in 11th, Reds, Tap and Volschweitzer, your 14 runners out on track. But, as we come up the hill, Bo Fashitara has got a really good car underneath him tonight. Runs wide coming out of turn 1, but leads the way by 1.6 seconds. From Tyson 2nd, Marcello 3rd, Black in 4th, Palmer 5th. Kincaid's just losing a little bit of time now. He's just overwearing those rears, I think, a little bit more than Palmer just ahead of him. Probably about 2 or 3% more inferior, I think, Palmer compared to Kincaid Dot behind him. But the Spaniard will be looking to try and get the Brit where it hurts most and try and not make a mistake like that where he loses more time. Now he's got Yera, his fellow Spaniard and his very good friend, behind him, of course, out on track as well. And a little bit of a rivalry, I would imagine, going on here, because Kenke Dot, I believe, used to be part of the Sidemax GT Sport team. Yera is part of the Sidemax GT Sport team, and now he's hunting down his old friend and adversary within Sidemax. Yera and Kenke Dot 6th and 7th. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. He might be an academy driver, he might be not affiliated with the team. For Kenke Dot 6th, Yera 7th. Palmer is under pressure from Kenke Dot slightly, but now Marcello has got the back into 3rd, of course. And Black's going to try and come back. Black has got really nothing to lose, I think, in terms of this race. He's already been crowned champ. and he can just have a bit of fun, to be honest. He told us beforehand that he hadn't practiced enough on this track this week, certainly for him to try and have a go, but what about that for practice? Fastest lap of the race from Black. Brakes later, he's going to try and lunge it down the inside line. He had to do that because Marcello broke earlier in front of him, and Marcello, second phase of turn 1, gets it, the run out the corner, but Black is going to try and come back, running up the hill in towards turn 3 once again. Both for Shadava, though, mastering these conditions. Might be the master of the wet. Here comes Black down the inside line. Oh, Marcello, it's a late breaking move, but a great move by Black. Down the inside line, that's why he's the two-time champ. Gets back at Marcello for forcing him off the track a few laps ago, and Black is through, and he's up into third. Marcello now has got to try and fight back, but of course they've got to keep it clean out on track. Palmer is a little way off the pace here in 5th. He cannot do as much more as what he's doing at the minute, and he's dropping time. So Marcello, I didn't think I'd be saying that here tonight in the SRS GT3 series, but it's both for Shadara, leading the way, tie second, now Black up to third. That's your top 3 at this moment in time. Yera catching the back of Ken K. Dot, the two Spaniards about to go out of Ken K. Dot, really sideways, coming out of turn 6, and now through 7 and 8. Just about keeps control of the car. He's got a 1-second penalty to his name as a result. Those rears need absolutely shooting. He's gone off track, Ken K. Dot. Now Yera is through, and he's up into 6th. Ken K. Dot now down into 7th. And I was just saying that the rears were looking quite short. It's the rear left that's taking the hit on Ken K. Dot's car. And if he can master those tyres a little bit better, apart from going wide there, if he can master these tyres, he is going to be in real deep trouble. But Viper behind, also with that rear left, is in deep trouble as well. As we see an spinner through turn 1. Is that Volschweitzer by any chance out on track? No, it's not. Who is that? It's Marcello that has spun. Marcello has spun from 4th position. And that is so unfortunate. Now Ken K. Dot and Viper have to serve up their penalties, and now Marcello's going to be right on the back of these guys. He could try and take 1, maybe 2, running up in towards turn 3. Didn't catch the spin from Marcello. It's obviously on the exit of turn 1 where he spun. But Marcello now, absolute disaster. He was right on the back of Black, and now he's down into 8th position. Such a shame for the Italian. Was doing a good job until that point. Ken K. Dot 7th, Viper 6th. Viper now really recovering well. He got contacted, of course, in through turn 1, and the Viper really trying to excel out on track. Literally say that as he slides his way coming at the exit of turn 5. You can see how difficult really these conditions actually are. Out in front, Bo Fushadara leads the way by 2.5 seconds, and the Audi is really, really doing well. But look at the fuel situation. Bo, I think, has got about 8 or 9 litres less, maybe even more. I would say that's about 6 or 7 litres of fuel less than Tice behind him. Is Tice fuel saving, or is Bo and that car really going to town in terms of the fuel? It might be the latter rather than the former, I feel. But Bo leading the way, Tice second, Black in third. I can see a battle running up in towards turn 1. Ken K. Dot on the back of Viper. Nearly 20 minutes through already. This race is flying over already as Viper gets out wide. And now Ken K. Dot trying to get onto the back of the Viper. But it's really a bit of a mismatch running up in towards turn 3 because of the course. The Viper, in terms of the speed, is so much quicker. And Ken K. Dot tries to take it to the outside line. We'll try and get the traction on the corner, and he does, just about in the second phase of the corner, though. Really, really shaky coming out the corner. And now Viper has got P6 in his back pocket, running down in towards turn 4 for now. Splash is also on the back of Harris. At least he made contact earlier on in the race. Doug's disappointing so far. He did have a little bit of contact, in fact, in 11th. Red is in 12th, and I believe he's just been into the pit lane. Looking at his tyres, Red has just been into the pit lane, going for a fresh set. And this is going to try and undercut the likes of Splash, the likes of Hairraiser, the likes of Marcello, possibly later on in the race, as Viper gets very squirrely coming out of turn number 8. And out the running towards turns 9 and 10, of course, a 4.3 kilometre circle of the Red Bull Ring, 10 corners. And famously, of course, they named turn 1 after the late passing of Nicky Lauda. Nicky Lauda, of course, dying a couple of years ago now, I believe. I think it's 2 years ago that he sadly departed Earth, which is a real shame. One of the greatest F1 drivers, I think, arguably, of all time. Scarred, of course, because of that incident. The right indicator has just gone on for Viper, and that is because he's serving up a penalty. Viper now is up into promotes Kenke Dot into 6th, and now Viper's going to be under pressure from Marcello running up the hill. Harris, by the way, came into the pit lane, so we'll be expecting him out very shortly indeed. Marcello now on the outside line. Viper, can he get the car stopped on the inside line? You bet he can. And Marcello gets a much better exit though out of the corner, and now is going to have him running down the hill in towards turn 4. Marcello and Viper. Viper against Mercedes. It's like the olden days of SRS GT3 Series 2, Season 2. Now down the inside line. Viper doesn't leave enough room, if I've got to be honest there. Now Marcello's going to try and have him back on the thinner line, but Viper is through. He just about defended that on the limit, but he's through and he's up into 7th position. Just left him short of room, I felt certainly, running through, as we have a retirement out on track, and that is Volschreiter. So Volschreiter now out of the race and taking no further part. It's disappointing, I think, to see drivers retiring, even though there is points available for the top 14 positions. I mean, it's common sense to try and finish the race, to be honest. Obviously, mentality goes through people's minds as well. If they're not mentally capable enough to try and continue on, then they've got another choice, I think. And that's just a part and parcel, I think, of sim racing. To be honest, you see in every single league, even if we try and bring in the point system towards the top 20, for example, the top 16 here in the SRS GT3 series, then, of course, you're still always going to get that 1 or 2. You're going to get the minority retiring rather than the majority continuing on, as there's a moment from SCM Reds on the exit of turn 8 there. Saw that on the mini-map, Tap trying to close him down, but both for Shadara leading the way, and on there, by merit, 4.1 seconds in front of Tice. And now, Tice is under pressure from Black, and this could be really crucial in how this race patterns out, as Tice nearly loses control coming out of turn 5. Boldo leading the way from Tice in 2nd, Black in 3rd, Palmer 4th, Yera 5th, Kenke Dot 6th. Now Black on the back of Tice, right on board with him from the chase cam, and just here on the exit of the corner there, the Mercedes trying to get up to full speed, trying to throttle it as much as possible. Bolfishadar continues on at least another lap, so does these two. And of course there's no real pit entry limit. You can run over the red and white line, I think, is what we're saying to drivers here tonight, which I personally think is not classed as the pit entry, but there we are. Make of that what you will. Tice 2nd, Black 3rd, Palmer 4th, in a bit of no man's land, to be honest, there in 4th. Looking further down the field, Splash trying to get onto the back of Marcello. Kenke Dot now wide there, the final corner once again. We ride back on board though with Black, running up the hill in towards turn number 3. And coming into tonight, by the way, I forgot to, because we were chatting to Keelan so much, I forgot to have a look at the championship standings. So let me run you through what the championship standings actually are, and I'll get them up and I'll try and do a live comparison to what there are out on track. Black 3rd behind Tice, and Black on 218 points coming into tonight. Palmer 2nd on 146, Tyson 3rd on 125, Splash in 4th on 110 points, Marcello 5th on 81. That's your top 5. We will post out a tweet, a delayed tweet albeit, but we will post out a tweet on Twitter at SRS League. On Twitter, of course, if you do want to give us a follow, and I'll post that tweet out as soon as this race is finished in its entirety. Black, though, right on the back of Tice, and Kenke Dot's right on the back of Marcello, and here comes Splash involved in this as well. So Marcello is up into 6th. He's got ahead, I think, of Kenke Dot there, if I'm not mistaken. So Marcello through up into 6th. As we see out the final corner, Tice is really struggling for a bit of traction there. Black now on the back of Tice. Run up in towards turn 1. Bofa Shadara leading the way from Tice 2nd, Black 3rd, Palmer 4th, Yera 5th, Kenke Dot into the pit lane. So we'll see him coming across into our camera shot any second now. There's a spinner as well. I think Viper has spun out of turn 7 and 8. Such a shame for Viper. Had a little bit of contact, of course, through turn 1 on the opening lap. Kenke Dot, though, into the pit lane. Don't be surprised if these try and fuel up towards the latter part of the end of the race. Kenke Dot then will be out behind Jerez, I believe. That is him coming through camera shot now. That'll be him to the left-hand side, in fact. He will eventually appear, or is Kenke Dot going to get out ahead of him? You'll see. And there is Hairraiser just lined through camera shot to Hairraiser through and he's up into 9th. Kenke Dot 10th. Hairraiser, of course, pitted in and has jumped him. Kenke Dot now down to 10th. Hairraiser in 11th. Looking at this extreme battle going on between Tice and between Black as well. 2nd and 3rd for Tice and for Black. Really doing a good job. Vol tried to say sorry for retiring. He was nearly spinning every 2 laps. He can't get his stuff together in the rain. Totally fine, I think. We can appreciate that, I think, in these conditions. To be honest, it is so difficult to control these cars. As race leader is in. Bofa Shadara into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Tice does not follow him in. Neither does Black, because they feel like they've got another lap in those tyres. Bofa Shadara has really gone about the fuel. But it's now Tice and Black's opportunity to try and get the outlap from Heaven in, or the in-lap, I should say, from Heaven in, as now these two will fight for the race lead. Bofa Shadara, where is he going to come out? Let's ride on board with him, as he will come out the pit lane very shortly indeed. If he gets ahead of these 2 cars here, in fact, I think he's going to be behind Splash as he comes out the pit lane, maybe behind Doug, but I think he's going to be well ahead of Doug as he comes out the pit lane. So, well done to Bo. He has got himself in clear air, and has got himself ahead of Doug, which is more crucial than anything else. So, Bo now 7th, Doug 8th, out on track. Black now coming at Tice, though, running down in towards turn 4. Tice feels the threat of Black as he tries to switch it down the inside line. A little bit of contact. You can see him taking 2nd gear there. Black as he tries to half throttle it and then full throttle it on the exit of the corner. But Tice leading the way from Black in 2nd. We're on 17 laps so far. This is lap 18 really, out on track. And Tice leading the way from Splash in 2nd. Sorry, from Black in 2nd. Sorry, Tice leading Black in 2nd. Not Splash. Goodness me, I don't know why I thought of Splash's name there. Black will have to come into the pit lane. Tice, I think, could continue on another lap. I wonder if that's what he's going to do, or if he's going to come into the pit lane. Yes, that's what he's going to do. So Tice going an extra lap. How costly is that going to be? Black into the pit lane. He takes the lead going into the pit lane, but he's got 2 litres of fuel left in that car. As now Marcello comes under pressure from Splash. Bofa Shadara is the one to watch as he now comes out of into turn 9. That's Tice leading, Palmer 2nd, Yera 3rd. Now Marcello and Black both came into the pit lane, by the way. And now Bofa Shadara, the one to watch. Is he going to jump? These guys coming across the pit lane exit now. And I think he's got them by a considerable margin. Bofa Shadara in the race lead by a considerable margin out on track. That is Black leaving the pit lane now. I would say that's about 5 seconds. Leading the pit lane. Once they get up towards turn 3, that's about 5 seconds that gap is going to be. And Bofa Shadara has produced a great performance so far. He's fueled himself up to try and go as long as possible on those tyres and as far as possible out on track. And now you would surely imagine an unlikely victory could come for Bofa Shadara as we approach the halfway stage here in the SRS GT3 series as we now run down towards turn 4 once again. And he's currently the net race leader, of course, out on track. Tice will try and respond. 6.2 seconds is the gap to Palmer. Palmer, of course, will be coming into the pit lane very soon indeed. And now Ty should come in this lap around, and he does. But does he get it caught on the grass there? Just about. He's all out of control, coming out into the pit lane. But now he's in. So Ty's into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Palmer second, Yera going to be into the pit lane, I would imagine, as well. And the three of them are in. So Bo Fushidara is producing one of the best performances so far. It's a Cymax 1-2-3 for now, but not for long. I've got to be honest, because Bo was coming out the final corner. He mastered, of course, the start and took the lead right from the get-go. Palmer is probably the one to watch out for coming out the pit lane, but Bo Fushidara is now in the lead of this race. Black will now be second, or will he? Because Tice is now coming out the pit lane, and they're going to be, I think, side by side, coming out the pit lane. And Tice has picked up a 5-10 penalty for his pit lane exit entry, I think, out on track. But Tice second. But is he going to be second, running up in towards turn 4, because here comes Black? But I think Tice has got too much track room. Tice in second, Black in third. Sidemax 1-2-3 did really not last long, did it? Bo Fushidara leading, Tice in second, Black in third. Literally joined us, I think, in the majority of that pit stops there, Iceman out on track. But Sidemax are doing quite well. Palmer, Yera, Marcello further down the field, 4th, 5th and 7th currently out on track. But the main man, the GT Sport manager, Tice in second, Black there in third. And what's considerable, I think, to note is Black has got less fuel than Tice. That means I think he's going to be quicker than Tice in the second stint. We've seen so many times so far this season from Black how from this position in third he can try and master his way into the lead of this race in this second stint. This second stint normally is crucial for Black. By the way, Palmer jumped Yera in the pits as well, so Palmer now is up into 4th and is clearing away from Yera at this moment in time. But Bo Fushidara, if you said to me, coming into this race, Bo Fushidara would be in the lead of this race and would have taken it down in towards turn 1, then I would have laughed. If I've got to be honest, I would have laughed, because he has been nowhere near the top 3 this season so far, and just comes to show, practice really does make perfect out on track. That is a pit stop, I think, being made, is it? Or is that a timings glitch? I think that was a timings glitch there that just appeared up on my screen. Black trying to hunt down Tice, second and third. Black on the back of Tice. And our 2-time SRS GT3 Series champion. Of course, I'm assuming he's going to be getting his trophy in the post very soon indeed. And that is already going to be done. I'm sure the trophy's been ordered and is going to be done and sent, of course, to Palmer's mother, who is neatly, as I come on board there, in the comment section as well. Good evening, Sharon. Hope you're doing well. Palmer in 4th currently. He's 1.5 seconds away from Yera. And Kenke Dot in 6th, not really making any sort of impact. He's 7.7 seconds down in 6th. But Tice, Black, is the main battle we should focus on. I think everyone else is pretty well strung out through the field. Credit as well to Tap, by the way, and to SDM Reds for continuing on. So Reds comes across the line there in 13th, and he's still continuing on, which is really good to see. Black now on the back of Tice. Here we go. This is the battle I think we've all wanted to see since Sardinia in round 2. Black and Tice now going at it for potential second place out on track, as now we come through the final corner. And now they come through, down towards the line once again. Lap 21 we go on to. Bo Fushidara leading by around 4.6 seconds out on track. Tyson's just trying to drag Black back into some sort of contention, I think. But that Audi is quick out in front, and he's keeping them at bay for now. Here comes Black, though, on the back of Tice. Team Simpact Racing against Sidemax Motorworks as they come up the hill in towards turn 3. Black very late on the brakes again, but Tice hanging on to second. Black in third. And you notice how Black takes one at the first gear there, and now has got a much better exit compared to Tice, and now is going to run at him down in towards turn 4. He goes into 6th gear. He might be fuel saving behind Tice out on track. And into the back there, nearly of Tice. Blackville third. Yeah, Palmer doing a really good job, considering he's got a dodgy throttle pedal, which cost him a real sort of a good chance to keep the championship fight alive coming into tonight's race. He's doing well considering, but he has got a real thorn in his side on the back of him, and that is Yera. Yera 5th, 7 seconds clear of K&K Dot, who's trying to reel in the gap. Palmer, though, is just about hanging on for grim life here. Yera in 5th. I'm going to say, whether it's a throttle pedal or whether it's just the rain out on track, Palmer has been a resemblance, I think, of his old self here in the SRS GT3 series from last season, certainly. Black, though, and from earlier on in the season to like that, as well as now Tice has a really poor exit, and now Black is through. Black is through, and he's up into second position. Tice had a really poor exit. Palmer, I think, had a penalty serving up. He lets through Yera, and now Yera through, and he's up into 4th. Oh, and Yera spun! Yera spun, coming out of turn 1. I'm not sure if there was contact on the back end from Palmer. I don't think there was. I think he got caught on the drift coming through turn 1, and it's an absolute disaster for Yera. Yera, who was running so strongly, has now got to make up all the ground once again. He's lost 10, maybe even 12 seconds running up the straight. He was on the back of Palmer, and now he is out of contention for possible top 4, maybe a top 4 finish, certainly maybe even a top 5. So unfortunate for Yera. As now Black tries to go all the way around the outside of Tice as we come on board with him. And Black just about hangs on to the position. So Tice now is in 2nd. Sorry, what has happened here? Tice in 2nd, Black in 3rd. And Black has dropped to 3rd. I don't know what happened there. We were right on board with something else. And now Palmer is on the back of Black. I wonder if there's been contact between Tice and Black, or if Black's had a half spin. Be really interesting to see what happened. On lap 22, make a note of that, everyone. Lap 22, I will ask about that. Palmer and Tice and Black maybe coming into some sort of contact there. But just have a look at the mini-map, actually, to see if we can see any sort of what happened there in with Black. As we came on board with him, so Black was running, I think he was running side by side, was he, with, oh, I don't know. No, nothing untoward, so it must have happened earlier on in the race. That's just me trying to be a bit of a Ted Kravitz there, looking at the replays. Both Ashitara, though, leading the way. Tice 2nd, Black 3rd, Palmer 4th, K&K Dot 5th, Marcello 6th, Splash in 7th, Yera now hunting down the Mercedes. That Mercedes, though, is really quick. Down in a straight line. Has Splash overcommitted the corner? Has Yera overcommitted the corner? Both of them do. And Yera, in fact, is the one that gets the better traction. And he's 5/10 away off the back of Splash, who just lost a little bit of time as a result of that half slide. But Splash 7th. And Yera in 8th. And again, Yera, really on the back now of Splash. SDM versus SMM. It's like the SDM versus SMM event that was held around here in the wet, I believe, in the GT4s, if I'm not mistaken, back in, well, a good few weeks now. It happened. And by the way, there's a yellow flag. There is a yellow flag out on track, and I'm trying to see who that might be. I think it is SDM Reds possibly getting lapped there. Yeah, Reds getting lapped, so no cause for concern. Yera, though, causing a whole lot of concern on the back of Splash as we come through turn 9 once again. 21 minutes to go, and Bo Fushidara leads the way. But look at the mini-map. That gap has come down to about 4 seconds, I would say. Right on board with them in just a second. Black is in 3rd, Palmer 4th. Then Marcello 5th. Then it is K&K Dot in 5th. Marcello 6th, Splash in 7th, Yera in 8th. As now Yera tries again to get onto the back of Splash. But Splash in that second exit now. Oh, and it's actually SDM Reds. Pulls off to the right-hand side there. I think he might have a penalty being served up. He lets them through. And Reds, not sure what's happening. Not sure if he's in I think he's in AI mode, possibly going through the corners. So frustrating. Oh, just about losing himself on control of the car there. Trying to minimise the wheel spin. He's got back going again, which is good to see. He's out of ghost mode. Splash now. Still under pressure from Yera and behind. There's not really much going on, so we're still focusing on this battle between Splash and Yera. And really doing a good job out on track. Marcello is now on the back and going around the outside of KK Dot. This is through turn 6. Marcello's through. KK Dot spins the car. Marcello through. Right around the outside. I think he was going to get the move done anyways if KK Dot didn't do that. A phenomenal move by the Italian. We were saying earlier on how he's really attributing himself well to the racing here in SRS. And Marcello goes around the outside of KK Dot. Whether there was a little bit of a spin from KK Dot beforehand remains to be seen. But Marcello, no matter what we saw there, he went around the outside of KK Dot. He is through and he's up into 5th. Brilliant, brilliant stuff by the Italian. And the Spaniard has got no response in behind. 1.4 seconds, and now the Spaniard tries to respond on the back of Splash, the Lithuanian, against the Spaniard, running up in towards turn 1. But Splash, the Lithuanian, hangs on. STM Splash, of course, now known as. Yeah, everyone's out wide. That might be a penalty coming his way as he ran out wide coming through turn 1. Mind you, I did that in practice and I didn't get a penalty, so I wonder if he's going to be scot-free with that. Yeah, he is going to be scot-free. And now runs down and towards turn 3 once again. Splash again, very late on the brakes. Really committed into that braking point there. And this time, Splash has got the better exit over Yera. So 7th and 8th currently between them two. And now that means KK Dot will try and get onto the back of Marcello. Further up the field, both for Shadara, 4 seconds in the lead. I don't think he'll have enough fuel to get to the end. It could be a bit of a splash and dash scenario maybe with Bo. But 4 seconds is the gap out on track. And in fact, the gap increases, 4.2 seconds. Tice there in 2nd, Black there in 3rd, Palmer in 4th, Marcello 5th, then KK Dot, then Splash, then Yera, then Doug, who's known into 9th, Viper 10th, Jerez in 11th, that's why, because Jerez has been into the pit lane, Tap in 12th, Red in 13th, and he's out of harm's way out of the top 8. Top 8 still covered by about 18 seconds out on track. It's still quite a close affair for some of these guys. A Splash just about keeps control of the car there. And now Yera tries once again to get onto the back of him. And I, with the lack of action out on track, I'll run on board with Yera, but I will be back very soon indeed. Bo for Shadara still leading the way as you tune in. 16.5 minutes to go here in the Red Bull Ring. Round 8 of the championship season finale, of course, coming next week. And what a time it could be as Yera is now right on the back of Splash. But what a time it could be for the race leader, Bo for Shadara, who is 4 seconds clear still. That turn 1 and that start has really given him the upper hand in this race. This Audi is quick around, and I think running down the straight, because of the gap closing up, I wonder if Bo is fuel saving out on track. 3.8 seconds. Look, just watch the gap to the left hand side. Watch it go up as we go up towards turn 3. Keep watching. Keep watching. There we are. It's starting to go up once again. And now it could be the case where Bo just uses it on the straight. But through and towards turn 1, certainly, he might have just been fuel saving there. Might be the case. Might be not. He might be just backing off to let Tice have another go at him. Black still within contention. Palmer's responded well, I think, in 4th. Without John Marcello, Splash is still ahead of Yera, and they're catching KK Dot as well. KK Dot's got not much fuel left at all in that car. He did pit earlier than anyone else, and KK Dot now is going to be splashing and dashing right to the end of the race. But will everyone else get splashing or dashing towards the end of this race? So Splash still in 7th, Yera in 8th. There's nothing really, as I say, happening in terms of the pace, or in terms of this race certainly. Bo for Shadara though, leading the way with 15 minutes to go, just under. And Bo runs wide, and that could be a penalty. 5-10 penalty may be coming Bo's way for running out wide there through turn 9, and it is. 5-10 penalty, slow down, but he can serve that on the run up towards turn 1, in towards turn 3 as well. So between 1 and 3 is the traction zone. And now, is the penalty zone, I should say, not the traction zone. He serves up with 10th. To be honest, judging by how slow he'll go in towards turn 3, he's just served it up there now, but judging by how slow he would have went into turn 3, he could have actually served that penalty up going into turn 3 and wouldn't have lost any time. But Tice, right on the back of Bo. Has Bo got enough left to try and win this? An impossible feat. A miracle, like Marine if they beat Tottenham earlier on, which they didn't. They got beat 5-0. But if Crawley Town beat Leeds, which they did earlier on, 3-0. And now Tice and Black, 2nd and 3rd, trying to hunt down maybe one of the big shocks of the season so far. And it's Bo from Tice, from Black, 13.5 minutes to go here at the Red Bull Ring. We now come through once again, turn 6. This infamous track, of course, the Red Bull Ring. 3 different layouts, of course, to this track. That being, can you name them in the comment section before I tell you? Well, I'll just tell you anyways. The Grand Prix layout, which we're running here, the short layout, which is also on this game, and the motorcycle layout, the MotoGP layout with the penalty loop on the exit of turn 1. All the 3 track layouts around here at the Red Bull Ring. And of course they do have the wider out loop as well, which is not in use for anything, but they have that if they want to try and spice things up. You never know, might go there for Formula 1. There is a battle happening further down the field. There's not a battle happening further down the field, that's just my eyes deceiving me. 2 close cars out on track, that's all it is. Tice 2nd, Black in 3rd. KK Dot now into the pit lane from 8th position, lost out to Yera. Lost out to Splash, and Splash now in 6th. Yera 7th. Has... Who's been into the pit lane? Viper? No. Doug hasn't. I think it's just KK Dot then. KK Dot into the pit lane from 8th. Now he'll be down to 9th. And he could even be down into 10th, but I think he'll come out in 9th position. He'll come out very soon indeed with 12 minutes to go. I hope he does anyways. He should do. I hope he's not going to be down at the back of the field here. And KK Dot into the pit lane. Still hasn't came out. I wonder if there's a problem with KK Dot. Just watching on board. Hopefully he'll leave the pit lane very soon. But if not, we'll cut our attention back to Black and Tyson. He's nearly going to get laughed, in fact, KK Dot. So KK Dot's had an issue. I wonder if he's left the session or something and it hasn't shown yet. Or if there's just a fundamental problem on his end. I hope he will tell us about his problem. But Black runs wide. And now that gives Tice now a run towards turn 1. And Black has picked up a penalty. And that is absolutely disastrous now for TSR T5 Black. Tice knows it. And now that could have just gifted him 2nd position out on track. Bo is having to do an absolute sterling job to try and keep this fuel in check towards the end of this race. Tice is in 2nd, Black in 3rd. And Black using up the slipstream to great effect. Running up towards turn 3, sorry. Black did serve up that penalty and now Tice 1.8 seconds behind Bo. Bo is getting eaten into this advantage. It's 1.7, 1.8 now, but Tice, I think, knows that Bo might not get to the end of the race here. if anybody has got Tice's... has anybody got a party with Tice up? Because if you tell him now that Bo might not make it to the end of the race, I think he will take that for sure. As Black ran out wide there, coming on the exit of turn 4. And that gives Tice a possible run at the victory of this race, which is absolutely unheard of. KK Dot, by the way, still in the pit lane. He's been even overtaken by Reds now. So, not sure what has happened in terms of KK Dot. And his back end is completely broken, is what it said. So his back is completely broken. So that means KK Dot now is out of the race. KK Dot out of the race. His back, I think, has been taken a right pounding if he's driving in a real hard seat. That's probably why. That's probably what I'm interpreting it as, to be honest. But that is now put KK Dot out of the race when running in a really positive position as well, I've got to be honest. But it doesn't stop the last 10 minutes of the race coming to fruition. Has Bo got enough fuel? I think no. I think Bo has got not enough fuel to get to the end of the race. He is going to have to fuel save as if he hasn't fuel saved before. But Bo leading the way by 1.6 seconds. The gap might not seem like much, but trust me, around a track here like the Red Bull Ring, it is certainly big enough to try and hold on and to try and fuel save. But my goodness me, you guys are in for an absolute treat with just, well, 8.5 minutes to go. It's Bo leading the way, Tice in second. Tice has now got to put in a shift like he has never done before. Like it, by the way, how we've got socially distanced crowd, virtually, of course, within the game, within the sim racing experience of GT Sport. Liking how it might be in real life, maybe for motorsport this season. But of course, our plans, still in the same racing field, go ahead as usual. And we will be announcing some plans very soon indeed, hopefully, regarding what is going to be happening going forward. Of course, we've got the MX-5 Championship coming forward after this. We'll tell you more about that, of course, probably next week. The end of next week's stream in Spa. I was going to say in Abu Dhabi, goodness me. KK Dot saying he has had a contracture in his back since Wednesday and the pain is too big to continue on, which is such a shame. Bo for Shadara, by the way, purple first sector. 1.5 seconds the gap to Tice. And it's making me wonder, is he going to get to the end on that fuel? 20 litres of fuel. Try and burn it away 5 litres of fuel a lap, say. Bo is going to be in deep trouble right at the end of this race. He has to try and continue on, I think, now. There is no going back from here. But it is Bo who leads. 1.8 seconds the gap from Tice in second. Black in third. Tice still trying desperately, valiantly to pursue Bo. Still could be the case where he can catch and try and overtake him later on. But with 6.5 minutes to go, Bo is going to be wanting these corners to go by in the blinking of an eye. Unfortunately for him, they're not, because we've still got 6.5 minutes of this race to go, and Bo is hanging on for grim life. It's a bit like the tortoise versus the hare as he gets wide out of the final corner. This gives Tice now an opportunity. Running down in towards turn 1. He's not going to be close enough. He might be within a second as we get in towards turn 1. It's going to be 1.1 seconds on the braking turn in towards turn 1. We're on board with Tice now. 6 minutes to go. Bo is hanging on for grim life. Tice now has got to put in a shift like he has never done before. Black is just too far back, I think. 2.2 seconds. Palmer in the background of shot as well, trying to nick something out of this. Tice now responds. Purple first sector. 39.3 last time around for Tice. 39.7. So that clearly indicates that Bo is struggling, but hasn't. Give Bo a real round of applause by the end of this race, because no matter what the finishing result is going to be, he has driven this race inspirationally well. This has been such a great race from Bo, and this is absolutely unbelievable as he gets another bit of a spin out, coming out through turn 4, and now Tice second. Goodness me. Volschweitzer, I'm hoping he can make it to the end as well. As much as I'm not biased, I really like Bo to win this, but look at the fuel scenario. That fuel is not going to make it to the end of the race. I can guarantee you that now. Even if you put it on fuel mode 6, that will not make it. I can guarantee you that now. I think Bo is going to have to try and just either tough this one out or come into the pit lane from the lead of the race, which he might have to do as he gets caught wide coming out of turn 9, and now Tice is right there with him. Here comes the Dutchman. Those tyres are shot. Bo is now under pressure for the race lead. He's done everything right. Can he do everything right for the final 4.5 minutes? Tice on the outside line now, running up the hill in towards turn 1. Bo is just going to hang on for towards turn 1, I think. All of this battling, though, all of this being held up, is now bringing Black into play. There he is, the defending champ. 1.1 seconds in behind. A three-way tussle towards the final 4 minutes. We go. Tice to the inside line. Bo nearly forces him off track. There's a little bit of time, and now Tice to the inside line. Bo tries to defend, but there's only one way about it. Tice takes the lead in towards turn 3. The final 4 minutes coming down to an absolute crescendo. Look at that field for Bo. Tell him to pit in, because Black now has got an opportunity to win this all. Could be a three-way battle to the right to the leaders. Now Bo dives it down the inside line. Doesn't get the car stopped. Look at Black. Black is right on the back of these two now. This is unbelievable. Tice has a little half spin coming out of turn 5. But now Bo's on the inside line into turn 6. Tice comes across. He knows that Bo's going to be there. And now Black, we're just watching it from his point of view. The current champion in SRS GT3 series. He is now right on the back of Bo in what could be one of the most unlikeliest victories possible. Black could try and keep up on this, as now Bo is going to have to come into the pit lane surely. Black tries to go down the inside line, but he's been held up. Bo holds him up for Black. He's into the pit lane, and that man had just gifted Tice the victory. 1.4 seconds the gap. 1.4 seconds the gap as we come through the final 2 corners. This is the penultimate lap that we're starting, and Tice leads. That hold up by Bo going into the pit lane is not going to do Black any justice at all. He runs wide coming out of turn 1, and now Tice 1.6 seconds in front. Black, I think, has only got one more opportunity to try and have a go at this, but Tice leading the way from Black in second, Palmer third, Bo in fourth, Marcello fifth, Yera in sixth, Splash 7th, Doug in 8th, Hairrace in 9th, Viper 10th, Tap in 11th, Reds in 12th. That's your top 12, and Tice is hanging on here, 1.6 seconds away from possibly winning this, 2 minutes away. As Tice controls the car once again through turn 4. This is an absolutely unbelievable race. Oh, what a race. 1.6 seconds. A literally change on the blink of an eye. Tice is going to be so tight on fuel, as is Black. And Tice, 1.6 seconds. 1.5 minutes ago. Will be 1 minute to go after they come across the line, I'm sure of it. And it's Tice leading the way. Is there any other battle happening further down the field? Yera's on the back of Marcello. Bit of an inter-team rivalry. Side Max, Marcello and Yera. Splash 7th, Doug in 8th, Hairazor in 9th. Then Viper, then Tap, then Reds. And we have actually lost another driver, I think, out on track, if I'm not mistaken, which would be K&K Dot. On to the final lap we go with 1 minute and 5 seconds as they come across the line. And it's Tice leading the way by 1.3 seconds. It still could come down, possibly to a crescendo, but I think this is now Tice's big moment, with Bo having to come into the pit lane. He did everything right, Bo. For 56 minutes, he did everything right. And now, he's having to go hell for leather to try and catch Palmer, but it's going to be a familiar 3, I think. This is absolutely unbelievable. Bo, he deserves this victory, if I've got to be honest. He deserves it. But victory has been taken from the jaws of defeat. It's as simple as that. And Tice now leads down the hill once again, for the final time, 1.5 seconds. He's got traffic in front of him, which of course will be ghosted. That is Tap, who I think is going to get lapped, as well as Viper just in front of him in red. Sorry, it's red and Tap just ahead of him. But now, Tice coming out through the final couple of corners. Bo has not got enough time to catch Palmer, I'm afraid to say. And Tice rounding turn 7 and 8. This is the final lap of the race, and Tice has delivered what no other person might do as he gets caught a little bit wide there. As Black tries to close in, 1.4 seconds the advantage. An unlikely top 3 in the whole scheme of this race. Tice has ran the final corner. He's barely got any fuel left. Rounding the final corner, SMM_Tice. It is his day in the Red Bull ring. He takes the win for Sidemax and defeats TSR T5 Black. 1.3 seconds separating. Palmer does not deserve a podium, but he does, and he finishes in 3rd. Bo, though, take your hats off to him. What a performance from Bo in 4th. The most unluckiest driver, I think, with the fuel, but he finishes in 4th. Marcello is in 5th. Yera in 6th. We're going to wait a long intervals, I think, for the rest to come home. Splash will be 7th. Doug will be 8th. Hairraiser will be 9th. Splash ran the final corner. Not his race, the Lithuanian, but he is going to roll it across the line now and finish in 7th. No one around him. He may as well do that. Doug across the line in 8th. Hairraiser will be 9th. Viper, Tap, Reds, 10th, 11th, and 12th, just to confirm. And Doug in 8th position. Palmer, I think in the whole scheme of things, he doesn't deserve that because Bo just deserved that victory and deserved that podium. And he was robbed of it because of the fuel. Doug across the line in 8th, Hairraiser in 9th. But yeah, Palmer, with that fuel, with that throttle issue, deserves that podium in the end and finishes in P3. It's an AMG 1-2-3. Tice on top, T5 Black 2nd, Palmer in 3rd. And there's your top step of the podium. There is your victor. Pole position, didn't get the fastest lap, didn't get a clean race, but it's Tice who takes the victory out on track in the SRS GT3 series. What a race out on track. And Palmer, yeah, miracles do happen, my buddy. Miracles do really happen out on track. I will keep on talking as I will try and find a party with the 3 of them in, which would be very fun indeed. And in fact, we can... I can't join the top 3 because there we are. I'm going to have to leave a party, aren't I? And keep on commentating. Or shall I just add them? Let's try and find this. Yeah, let's try and find another party. We're going to still keep on streaming though. On with the 3 of them in. So let's get them in. Palmer, Tice and TSR T5 Black will be joining us very soon indeed. Marcello has also been added into this chat, by the way, so he might join, but he doesn't deserve a podium interview because he didn't finish on the podium, and it's as simple as that, as we now get the first drivers in for their podium interviews. What an amazing finale to that race. Bo Fushidara, absolutely amazing drive for 56 minutes of that race. But I'm pleasured to be joined by the race winner, SMM_Tice. And Tice, you do not deserve that victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't though, because Bo, I think, just drove his Audi completely and utterly brilliantly out on track. You took full advantage of the luck that was brought. Talk us through that race.
It was really just like a story of fuel saving, which was happening quite a lot up and down the field. With going into the race, we knew that we had to save a lot of fuel to make the one-stop work, and I just saw a boat pushing, and I thought, yeah, I can follow him and like go to the two-stop, but it's a slower strategy. So I'm just gonna sit back and save a lot of fuel, and yeah.
Yeah, really good. I think fuel saving in the end just comes through. You might have just seen Bowles' message there in the chat as well. I should have stopped fuel saving instead of being greedy and gapping Tice. But all the best drivers do learn from that experience. In the last 4 minutes of this race, did you have a feeling that Bow was coming back to you, and did you have a feeling he was eventually fuel saving?
Well, like, at some point, he started dropping back a bit, so I thought he was fuel saving, so that was the point that I really wanted to get a move on, when I really started gaining time on him as well. Then I caught up on him, I overtook him, and he went into the pit, so in the end it didn't have to be. It was good to do it anyways.
It was really good to do it anyways, and for Sidemax, certainly getting 2 drivers onto the podium here in SRS GT3 must fill the team with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I think it does.
Is that it? I thought we were going to say more. Yeah, it really does, I think. We obviously spoke to Keelan beforehand, and really interesting thoughts from Keelan's perspective. Going into the final race of the season, though, the 90-minute finale, of course, next week in Spa. How do you think you're going to get on?
Can we get rain?
Am I in charge of that decision?
No, I am, but we said in front that there was no rain, so there's not going to be rain. So it's going to be a dry race, so I don't know. I'm probably going to aim to just optimize the result and see what pace I can get.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating to see how the season finale comes up, and I believe because of the championship standings, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just trying to get them up while I'm trying to speak, which is not great, trying to do 2 things at once. Let me have a look. There's the standings. Goodness me. You, I believe, because you had Skull Palmer, are still in contest for 2nd. Which is going to be fascinating. Funny, it's going to be really fascinating, I think, out on track. 34 to 22. So hang on, I'm trying to do quick maths here. 159. Palmer, you will be on 168. So that's what, 9 points?
I believe I need to overtake him. Probably not gonna happen.
Might not happen. Better get them throttle pedals sorted out, Palmer. I know he's in here. Black, though, we'll move on to you. Finishing in 2nd position out on track. A really good drive from you in the end. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, the race, yeah. Many mistakes, penalties, almost spun multiple times. Have no strategy at all. And when I did catch, like, yeah, I was wondering, yeah, one stopper, maybe. Yeah, I went in to pit lane 1 lap before him. I got lucky. I can stay behind him. He got the penalty when he came out. So yeah, I just followed him, save fuel, multiple map 3, short shifts. Yeah, he's the deserved winner for tonight, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good 2nd place for you out on track. I think with Bo coming into the pit lane very late on in that, did you feel that ruined your chance to try and get a race victory?
No, I did know he needed to pit at some point, 2-stopper. Because when he went in, it was maybe 38 minutes left of the race, and he cannot get that amount of fuel in, and he cannot fuel save that much and still be up in the front. So no, really, no.
Plenty of no's there. I think we'll take that as a no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Obviously, being crowned champion going into the final race of the season puts a little bit of pressure off, but going into next race, going into the final race of the season in Spa, how do you think you're going to get on?
I hope I can, I hope I can end in top, in 1st place. I like Spa, that's it's many straights, technical corners, Merc is pretty good around there, but it's a lot of Merc AMGs now, so anything can happen. Yeah.
Yeah, anything can and probably will happen, I think, in Spa, especially what we've seen here tonight at the Red Bull Ring. Thank you so much, Black. We'll move on to our 3rd place man, Palmer. And Palmer, despite a throttle issue, you have a podium position. Were you expecting it at all?
No. Even with the throttle issues, like they were getting worse as the race went on, so I'm quite happy it wasn't a 90-minute race. But yeah, like even without the throttle issues, I had no pace compared to Ty's T5 and Bo. And then obviously I let Uray pass. I think like the midpoint of that second stint, and he ended up spinning. Yeah, so I'm very, very surprised to get this podium. You know, when I qualified, when did I qualify? Like 6th or something. I think it was 6th or 7th. I can't remember actually. It was such a long race. Yeah, I didn't really think I'd be able to finish it, but you know, I kept my nose clean, apart from some tail happy bits or parts of the race. But yeah, you know, I kept my nose clean. Of course, it was only me and one other driver who didn't get a penalty, so I'm quite happy about that. You know, but obviously it was just quite a lonely race. I think definitely the loneliest race of the season, apart from when I disconnected and retired last weekend. But yeah, not really much to say after that race. You know, of course, I do feel bad for Bo because he drove very, very well. You know, I think he definitely should have got that win, but unfortunately, of course, his strategy let him down. But obviously, I'm very happy that Ty got his first win because he deserves it a lot. Obviously, yeah, I didn't really see much what was happening, but it did look like it was quite interesting.
He must have shouted, surely coming across the line with that win.
Well, I reckon his thigh hurts because I reckon he must have punched his thigh when he when he passed the line.
I prefer not to speak.
But no, there wasn't shouting. To be honest, I shouted 4 times, and I heard my mum cheer downstairs. So yeah, overall, just a really, really good race. Good to get this podium. You know, especially after what happened last weekend. And yeah, hopefully, obviously, I can get this throttle pedal fixed. But to be honest, I'm too scared to put it apart in case I do mess it up. But yeah, of course, Spa is going to be very, very different to this race. And obviously, 90 minutes around there. It's a very, very tricky circuit, very lovely circuit as well. Probably a lot of slipstreaming that's going to be going on down the Kemmel Straight, so hopefully it'll be a good one to end out this fantastic season.
Yeah, I think it'll be great because obviously Spa's a 7-kilometre track, so we're going to be seeing plenty of action, I think, out on track next week. And you touched on it there. How do you think you're going to get on in Spa?
I'm not really too sure, to be honest. Obviously last season in the rain, it wasn't really one of my best tracks, but obviously it's completely different. Yeah, it's completely different in the dry. But yeah, I think I'm not really too sure, to be honest. Obviously it's got quite a lot of long corners and that, like Puan and the understeer corner of Rivage, which yeah, I don't know if I'm very good around those. And then obviously the chicane where Tice will probably dive bomb someone. But yeah, hopefully it'll go well. Hopefully I can get another podium, possibly a win, because I've been winless for quite a while, ever since Interlagos, I think, which is quite bad. But yeah, hopefully it goes better. Hopefully I have more pace there, and hopefully it's a very good race.
Let's hope so. Of course, season finale next week you can tune in for live on the channel. We're starting slightly early, I believe, at 6:45 for qualifying, and then about 7 o'clock for the race, because obviously it is an hour and a half long. We want to try and get through it and get started a little bit early, but you're going to have me in the commentary box where we will announce, of course, the upcoming SRS MX5 Championship, which will take place the week after the season finale, of course, of the SRS GT3 series. But thank you to Tice, thank you to Black, and thank you to Palmer for your podium interviews. That is it from us here tonight at the SRS GT3 series. Fascinating to talk to Keelan earlier on. Thank him for joining me in the commentary box for qualifying, and we will see you, of course, next week. Until then, please stay safe out there. Please continue to follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, we'll be coming for you. It's as simple as that. Thank you so much for watching the SRS GT3 series, and until next time, goodbye.